It's been non-stop action in this race as the pace continues to go up, and Astana are deciding that they want to try and break this, and DFL are trying to close up as well. Nico Matan goes on the attack, and Nico Matan, obviously a former winner of this race, he said yesterday that it's very, very difficult when you've got a team that's as inexperienced as DFL is to mix it with the big boys here, but that's what he's trying to do now.
Yeah, Capel's in there with them, but you know, it's good to see them trying. You know what I mean? They're riding hard, and Nico just can't. He's done a big turn there, just can't completely ride. It looks like Rabobank are trying hard at the front of the bunch with Quick Step to to nullify these escapes. And if we can say Cône de Court, the Dutch rider, you know, we've seen him you know, in the past, and we know, you know, he's a very, very strong rider, and if Capel and you know, Nico and the other can get up to him, which it looks as if they are 4 riders, and 4 you know, decently strong riders, you know, this bunch will have a hard job trying to bring these back.
Cône de Court, a former teammate of Thomas Dekker. They were both in the young Rabobank team. A very, very good time trialist. Now these 4 riders combine at the front with 6 kilometres to go. Cône de Court's having trouble getting onto the wheel. Nico Matan is absolutely blasted today, isn't he? Look at this.
Yeah, he's really trying, and he knows, you know what I mean, he has to get a result for this DFL team, you know, to show the youngsters it's okay, you know, with the experience and, you know, telling the riders what to do, but, you know, the best way of doing that is by, you know, leading by example, and certainly he's trying to do that today. 5.5 kilometres to go, and it looks as if they've got about 10 or 15 seconds. Cône de Court is just struggling with his effort just off the back, and he's actually just sitting up now, just too much for him.
Cône de Court gets dropped as the Panne rider asks Nico Matan to sit there in second place. Matan, a former winner of the Ghent-Wevelgem, remember, which comes up in a couple of weeks' time. A former winner of this 3 days of the Panne. Fantastic palmares. He moved to this DFL squad for the twilight of his career, and it's Priamo. We've seen Priamo on the attack a lot this year so far, particularly in the Tirreno Adriatico, but this gap is starting to open up a little bit here. You wonder whether these 3 riders have managed to just snip away at the right time, and that the peloton may well not be able to close it. The gap now 10 seconds. Matan gritting his teeth. He's such a fantastic competitor, and he is piling the pressure on Nico Matan.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I think one of the last times we've seen this was in the last stage of the Tour of Britain. He was up the road with Bradley Wiggins, and you know, we've seen him just grit his teeth and try to win that fight at that last stage a couple of years ago. But certainly, you know, he's given it big licks. It's just surprising that Cône de Court just couldn't stay there, because we know he's a strong rider, and you know, this gap is looking good at the moment. 4.4 kilometres to go. This bunch will have to go really, really hard to bring these guys back, and you know, you see how much it is to Nico riding his light speed bike. He's certainly going at light speed at the moment to try and keep this group away.
He certainly is, and Capelli's got his mouth wide open, and he is gulping in as much oxygen as he can. Baldato wants to bring Bernati to the finish for another stage win. 38 years old. He's one of the oldest riders in the peloton with Christophe Monjean. Now Flescher comes through. Milram are looking for this one. Quick Step. We've already spoken to Van Slick in the team car, and they want a stage win today, because they know that Holzmans hasn't got a fantastic time trial on him, although he's sitting nice and high up overall in the top 6 riders on general classification. The Milram, the Milk Boys come to the front.
There's only 2 riders riding now. You've got Milram and Flescher riding at the moment, because Gretschkins is sitting back. He's sitting back in 3rd place and not contributing. So it's you know, this 3-man group of Priamo, Matan and Capel have, you know, got a good gap here. 3.5 kilometres to go, and it's going to need a concerted effort by, you know, all the sprinters team to bring these guys back.
Nico Matan is absolutely committed at the front of this group. Priamo's still with his rain jacket on, and well, his warmer jacket on, flailing in the wind. He's trying to pile his way through. Andy Capelli has a sneak look round. These guys, I don't think they can quite believe that they've managed to open the gap up here, as the Rabobank squad absolutely pile the pressure on at the front. It's an incredible pursuit here, and it is all being done by Rabobank, who are trying to now break this race up, bring it all back together and keep the pressure on at the front.
Flashes off.
Baldato's not very happy,
no,
is he?
Krechkin swung over there and left the gap, and Fleischer was really going for it, and Krechkin wasn't interested in trying to follow Fleischer's wheel. 10 seconds and Fleischer's off the front, and Baldato's, you know, when somebody does that in the finish, it's because their legs are screaming, and Fleischer's trying to go across the gap on his own here, and you know, it's hanging there, and I'm not too sure. 2.4 kilometres to go. It's only about 9-10 seconds. I don't know if they've got quite enough, but it really all depends on what the bunch do. If the bunch just hesitate, then these guys can stay away, and it's going to be an exciting finish to this stage.
Well, we've seen a few of these breakaways succeed in the last few weeks, particularly in the Paris-Nice. We saw it on a number of occasions with the riders like Kolobnev and Arakev riding very well in the Tirreno Adriatico, but this gap is coming down. 8 seconds. Nico Matan, his sponsor today, is certainly very apt for him. He is the driving force in this breakaway today as he piles it on at the front. He's been the guy that's kept this one away. Capelli, Fleischer's trying to bring this all back. The Wiesenhof Felt team are looking to try and bring their sprinter Polak to the fore, and now the Unibet squad are looking to try and bring Baden Cook up there too. It is carnage at the front of this peloton right now, and there is a carnage here on the left-hand side of the road as we see a number of riders, including Franzoy, come to grief. We also see Gerben Lervik, and it is Franzoy who's in a little bit of difficulty here, sitting on the road.
Yeah, you can see that happening with these things in the middle of the road, and it was just a lack of concentration there, but still 1.3 kilometres to go. They still get a bit of a lead, and I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. It would have been 10-15 seconds, then it would have been, I think, Nico's looked round now, and you know, they have to keep on going, and Priamo attacking here is not going to help this attack, and it looks as if it is going to be this big bunch sprint, and you know, let's look out for the Lamprey boy and Benatti.
Well, look at this now as Priamo tries to just sneak away. That was a fantastic effort by Nico Matan of Driving Force Logistics with Andy Capelli, and now Priamo is stamping on the pedals, and he's trying to bring home a stage win for the Paneria squad. But behind him, the cavalry are absolutely massing. Discovery Channel up there with Farkas. This is a pretty dangerous run-in. They are all over the place. Cars on the left-hand side of the road all parked, but these riders now, as Priamo gets caught, and they are within sight of the finish here. Who's going to win stage 3 of the 3 days of the Panne? The pace is exceptionally high. They're going to swing into the finish.
It's all about positioning here, and a lot of pushing and shoving, and it looks as if Farkas is in a perfect position here, and if he can just close this final sprint, they might get Discovery might get this win today.
Well, I see Paolini's up here as well in the white jersey. Paolini's going to try and go for the stage win. Look at this. Steegmans is there, and now Benatti goes on the left-hand side of the road. Is Steegmans going to take the stage win? Steegmans takes the stage for Quick Step with a fantastic sprint. We saw him a couple of weeks ago where Boonen could hardly get round him, but Gert Steegmans takes the stage for the Quick Step squad, and Van Slick said he thought he would try and win the stage today. Steegmans takes the stage, 2 hours 33 minutes ahead of Benatti. Balducci was there in third. Polak made fourth place. Graham Brown was up in fifth. Tom Steels was in sixth, and Paolini made the top 10 as Nico Account rides in after a very, very hard day. This man, Luca Paolini, as the sirens sound in the background, is still the leader of this race, having won stage 1. He's extended his lead over Alessandro Balan steadily over the last couple of days. He is now 10 seconds ahead on general classification. Luca Paolini goes into the final time trial this afternoon. You can't write this man off. He's been a silver medalist in the under-23 World Time Trial Championships, a bronze medalist in the World Time Trial Championships. He is a good time trialist, and this 11-kilometre time trial suits his punchy, powerful style. Thanks for joining me, Anthony McCrossan, and Brian Smith for the third stage of the 3 days of the Panne. Join us very soon for the final stage, the 11-kilometre time trial. Bye for now.